Hey guys, welcome back to this week's Read with Me. This week we're looking at an informational text. This is called A Recipe for Allergies. So, I wonder if anybody can make any text to self connections from this text. All right, so let's get started. A Recipe for Allergies. Many people have allergies, a condition in which the immune system reacts abnormally to a foreign substance. Some are allergic to what's in the air. Ragweed, pollen, grass, and even pet dander can cause sneezing and a runny nose. Allergies can be mild, causing red eyes or itchy skin. More intense reactions, such as a runny nose, stomach pains, and hives, can make a person feel dismal. Ooh, that's a big word. Allergies that push into the severe category may endanger a person's life. Their throat may swell, not letting them breathe. These people are usually given medication they carry with them at all times. The medicines fight the body's reaction to the allergy. So in this case, the medication that they have to carry is usually called an EpiPen. So you may have heard of that before. What happens if a person is allergic to food? Everyone has to eat because food is fuel for the body. The best way to handle a food allergy is to avoid that particular food. For instance, peanuts and tree nuts are a common allergy for children and some adults. A person who is allergic to nuts is trained to read labels. They make sure the food they buy has no trace of nuts in the ingredients. Look at this recipe for brownies. If you were allergic to nuts, what item would you eliminate? So here we have brownies, a half a cup of vegetable oil, 1 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 2 large eggs, a fourth teaspoon of baking powder, 1/3 cup of cocoa powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 cup of flour, and 1/2 cup of pecans. So in this recipe, you want to think about if you were allergic to nuts, which item would you have to eliminate? All right. Another common food allergy is eggs. Many baking recipes include eggs because they bind the other ingredients together. By eliminating eggs from the brownie recipe, the result would be a very crumbly mixture. Here are 2 examples of the same brownie recipe with other ingredients replacing the eggs. Can you identify the substitutions? So here we're looking at this recipe here, brownies. We've got a half a cup of vegetable oil, 1 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 tablespoon of vinegar, 1 tablespoon of water, 1 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/3 cup of cocoa powder, 1/4 teaspoon salt, 1/2 cup of flour, and 1/2 cup of pecans. And then in this recipe, let's see. We have all of the same ingredients so far, but then you get down to here and we have a half a cup of unsweetened applesauce, 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, a 1/3 cup of cocoa powder, a fourth teaspoon of salt, half a cup of flour, and a half a cup of pecans. All right, allergies can make a person uncomfortable or sick. With care, medication, or avoidance, however, allergies can be managed. All right, so this text hits home for me because my little boy Dex is allergic to many, many things. Luckily, he's not too severely allergic to different types of foods, but he is allergic to a lot of things in the air and a lot of animals, and it just makes it really hard for him. So I want you to think about any text to self connections that you may have with this text. And think about, if I were to ask you, what is the main idea of this text? What would you say is the main idea? And remember what main idea is. It is it has to be a complete sentence straight from the text, and it needs to at least have 3 supports and details from the text. All right. So thank you all for joining me for this week's Read with Me. Make sure that you underline all your support for your questions, and I will see you all next time. Thanks.